We got out of our car. As we approached the house, someone opened the door for us. Brown eyes stared at me, his brown hair swaying in the harsh winds. His smile graced his handsome face before he engulfed me in his muscular arms. Andrew! I screamed, hugging him tighter. I felt a few tears of happiness escape. I've missed you so much. My little sister, he said, pulling back from me to look at me. You've got some toned arms. Did this guy? Andrew stopped to slap Jake's head. Work you too hard? She was a weakling, Jake said, putting Andrew in a headlock once Andrew let go of me. She couldn't even lift a hollow block. Hey, I snapped. Stop exaggerating. Boys, a feminine voice laughed. They think all girls are weaklings. Amanda! I shouted out her name, almost tackling the petite blonde-haired woman to the ground. Amanda and I had definitely gotten closer when Andrew and her came to visit me 6 months ago. We went shopping, sharing similar thoughts and our sarcasm towards Andrew. She was like my older sister, which she was. To be precise, she was my older sister-in-law. Yes, she was human, and yes, she was mates with my older brother. Jessie, you're going to kill me, she choked. I let go of her slightly before saying, Right, you're human. Who taught you to be so cocky? Was it Jake? Amanda gasped, casting a teasing glare at Jake. Why does everybody blame me? Jake pretended as if he was crying. Because you're so dumb, Jake. All 3 of us said in unison, obviously used to saying this one statement to him. You guys are all mean. I hate you all, Jake said, crossing his arms over his chest like a 5-year-old. Anyways, Amanda is making food since Aunt Kara is on a trip around the world, Andrew said. I'll take you to see Mom. My heart was pounding hard with every step we took towards her room. I flinched when I heard a strangled cough. Andrew put his hand on my shoulder, trying to comfort me. The tears spilled out all at once when Andrew opened the door, causing my heart to break. My mother lay in her bed, looking at us tiredly. Every blink was longer than it was supposed to be. Her translucent skin had sheen of sweat, although the room was cold. Her dry lips turned up in a smile as she looked at us. Jessie, my baby, she said hoarsely. Why are you crying? Come here and give me a hug. I came over to her, hugging her softly. Her arms shook as she lifted them slowly to go around neck. Mom, I'm just so happy to see you. Luckily, there were no wounds on her face because that would have hurt me even more. I did not dare remove the blanket around her, because if I did, I would have seen the gauze wrapped around the area she was shot. I missed you so much, Jessie, my mom said, smiling. Hey, Auntie, Jake said happily, coming to give my mom a quick peck on the cheek. Oh, Jake, you're so handsome, my mom said, patting his cheek. Thanks for taking care of Jessie. I rolled my eyes as Jake flashed me a knowing smirk. You're welcome. Anything for my family. Have you found your mate yet? My mom asked, knowing of Jake's conquest to find his mate. No, Jake said darkly before joking around. I don't think anybody could handle this much strength and hotness. Better watch it, boy, my mom laughed tiredly. Even if I'm weak, I could take you down. Why don't we let Jessie and my mom have a little alone time right now? Andrew said, smiling at the 2 of us. So, how are you? I asked Mom after they have left us. I'm fine, Jessie. Mom, I said, fresh tears welling up in my eyes. I'm sorry it wasn't there. I feel like it's my fault that you guys got attacked. I'm so sorry. You almost died because of me. I'm the reason for all this. Nonsense, Jessie, my mom scolded. Stop blaming yourself for things that you had no intentions doing. It's the truth. Give me proof that it is then. When I stayed quiet, my mom continued. Jessie, you always blame yourself. You always tire yourself. None of this is your fault. Stop it. I got shot because I was protecting my children, and I would rather die than let my children die. I love you, Mom, I cried, laying next to her in her queen-sized bed. Stop crying, my mom said. How about you? Are you okay? I'm fine, I said, clueless. Why would she ask that question when I was clearly healthy and unhurt? I heard about Harrison, honey, my mom whispered. My heart constricted and my tears started falling even harder. Here, with my mom, it was hard to pretend I was okay with it. She would read the lie. I don't even know, I blurted before I could stop myself. I was the one who broke up with him, but I didn't break up with him because I didn't love him anymore. I broke up with him because I didn't want him to get tangled up with my own problems for being a healer. It hurts me to know he loves another girl. It hurts me to know that he's happy without me. It hurts me to know he's kissing and hugging somebody else. I'm pretending that I'm fine, but I'm far from it. It went quiet for a moment before my mother said, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Just remember one thing. What is it? Love is always going to find ways to kill people. That's the test. It's the test to see that two people will still love each other despite their challenges." While everybody was doing something productive and fun, I sat outside on the porch steps. I'm not usually one to wallow in self-pity, but here I was being a Debbie Downer. It angered me that I was being so weak and vulnerable, doubting everything in life and being such a pessimist. Despite my resistance to talk about Harrison, it did help beneficially. It made me open my eyes to the fact that I wasn't completely at fault for my heartbreak at this moment. It took my mother to realize what everybody had been telling me. He didn't have to get into a relationship just because I wanted a little break. We were soulmates for crying aloud. I missed him. I missed his warm hugs. I missed our passionate kisses. I missed his teasing and his joking. I missed snuggling up next to him. I missed the sparks that flew whenever we touched. I missed his laugh. I missed his arrogant smirk. I missed everything about him. What happened to us? That's right. I ended it. My hands itched to run through his peri-black hair, which he still wore short. I wanted to stare into his blue eyes forever, knowing that nobody else in the entire universe would feel the way I did when I stared into them. I wanted to kiss his soft lips, anticipating the tingles that would erupt throughout my body in the next few milliseconds. He was an addiction, like my own drug, like my own coffee flavor, and you all know how much I love coffee. Ugh, I am such a hopeless romantic. You just love him, my wolf teased me. You have got to be kidding me. You have to use that right now? Seriously? Thanks for bringing me down memory lane, I snapped, remembering the first time that Harrison told me he loved me. Although it should have pained me, I couldn't help the silly smile that crept its way onto my face. He still loves you too, she whispered. My heart thudded against my chest before I laughed at her. You don't believe me? He has a girlfriend, and to think I was the hopeless romantic. You're even worse. Growl! You're so girly. Couldn't you just growl instead of actually saying it? That's like saying OMG instead of saying oh my gosh. I'm telling you, he still loves you. Right, that would be the day Paula Deen stops clogging her arteries with butter. You're such a pessimist, and you're a nosy gossip girl. Shut up. You're the one that's a female dog, literally. Can you just make up with him? I miss my big dog. Ew, that's what you call Harrison's wolf? I scrunched up my nose before I sighed sadly. I miss him too. I swear, it's like I could smell him right now. His manly scent wafted up my nose, causing my wolf to purr in delight. I inhaled, drinking it up. My eyes rolled back in contentment and I moaned softly. That's my favorite sound of all time, an amused voice joked. That's my favorite sound of all time, an amused voice joked. I jumped a foot in the air, snapping my eyes to meet amused, clear ones. He ran his hand in his dark hair, giving me one of his genuine smiles. Oh, he sat next to me, looking at the dark forest in front of us. I would have been angry that he approached, but there was just something about the way he approached me tonight that said he wasn't looking for a fight. For the first time in 14 months, I agreed with him. I was tired of all this hullabaloo. Yes, I just use hullabaloo. You're still as cocky as ever, I said, smiling slightly at the memories. Harrison smirked, causing my toes to curl. As cliché as it sounded, there was no other man that could measure up to his looks. He was excessively handsome to compare. I see that you're still a cranky old woman trapped in a teenage body, Harrison joked. I sighed inwardly. He was still the same. He didn't change much after all. Your comebacks are still lame. Come on, Mr. White. Haven't I taught you anything? It's hard for a student to learn if he had a crappy teacher. Touché, I smirked. I thought you were hanging out with Nell. Nell decided to cut up Betty's undergarments, he said, chuckling. Oh gosh, that sound. It was music to my ears. I didn't want to be there when Betty throws a tantrum. In that very moment, I laughed at perfect timing. There was a loud crash inside the house. Nelson Cooper, Betty growled. You are such an immature brat. A high-pitched scream followed, a scream that only belonged to Nelson Cooper. Harrison and I erupted into laughter. Sure, it wasn't a laugh that made me hiccup, but I still appreciated the fact that I actually laughed in his presence. The silence that followed was actually comforting. I couldn't believe that we were actually having a civil conversation. So, how's your mom? Harrison asked, genuinely concerned. I didn't know what possessed me, but there was just something about him that made me trust him. She's fine, I sighed. I just wished I was there to save her. She wouldn't be suffering right now. It's not your fault, he said. Call me crazy, but I think he scooted the tiniest bit closer to me. You didn't know it was going to happen. Actually, none of us knew. You should stop blaming yourself for everything, Jez. So, you and Sarah? I asked. Well, in actuality, I blurted it out. I couldn't help it. I couldn't contain the burning curiosity inside me any longer. In addition, I wanted to stop talking about my mom before I crashed down again. His eyes widened before he scratched the back of his neck. It's nothing, he said simply while shrugging. I found his answer irritating and it angered me. I pushed my brown hair out of my face, sure that my green eyes were blazing with anger. "It's nothing?" I snapped. "What do you mean it's nothing? Was he using her?" She was such a sweet girl. For him to be doing that to her was totally wrong. She did nothing wrong to him and he was kissing her up for a heartbreak. You wouldn't understand, Jez," Harrison whispered, irritation blazed in his blue eyes. "Oh, please enlighten me," I said sarcastically. "It's better left unsaid, Jessie. She loves you, you know." My voice started rising now. I stood up, facing him. "And you had to go and break her heart." At that moment, tears started spilling out of my eyes. I rubbed furiously at them. In that moment, I was trying to convince myself if I was talking about Sarah or me. "What exactly are you trying to do?" I yelled. "Jessie," Harrison said desperately, "I'm telling you. Ignorance is bliss. I'm in no mood for secrets right now." "Why do you care, huh?" Harrison said, his voice rising too. He was so close that I could feel the electricity buzzing around us. I looked up into his darkened eyes. "Why do you care what goes on between Sarah and me? Stop trying to turn the tables, Harrison," I sneered, poking him in the chest. "Why do you care, Jessie? I asked you a question. Why do you care?" Harrison growled. "It shouldn't matter so much to you, Jessie. You're the one who broke it off. So why the hell should you care? Did it ever occur to you that I'm still in love with you?" I snapped, tears rolling down my flushed face. I shoved him in the chest and punched him from the built-in anger. "Just because I broke up with you doesn't mean you have to have a girlfriend." "You want to know why I broke up with you?" "I didn't break up with you because I didn't love you. I just didn't want you to get hurt and tangled up into my mess." "You want to know why?" "Because I loved you too damn much to watch you get hurt." I drew in a shaky breath, sobbing loudly. I didn't know if Harrison could understand me anymore with the way I was speaking. He didn't say anything, his eyes widening and staring down at me in shock. I was simply too stupid. I was even thinking that my own soulmate still loved me. Then there it was. The searing pain that almost made me die, Harrison. I almost died because you made love to another woman. "Does this mark mean nothing to you?" I asked, shoving my brown hair back and showing him the crescent-shaped birthmark on my neck. "So, the answer to your question is pretty clear. I care because I'm still irrevocably in love with you." He stayed quiet for a bit before his lips trembled. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "You're not sorry," I snapped once again. My anger surfaced once again. "If you were sorry or if I meant anything to you, you wouldn't have been with Sarah." "Jess," Harrison replied, broken. "Don't, Harrison." I held up my hand. "Don't pretend to care when you obviously don't. You're still that playboy, and I was one of those stupid Sues who fell in love with his player ways." "God damn it," Harrison growled, his eyes turning black. He punched the cement wall of the house, leaving a dent on it. I automatically flinched back, although I knew he wouldn't hurt me. "If you still loved me, you would have faith in our relationship. If you still loved me, you would have made sure that you would keep our relationship alive despite the drama that comes with being a healer. If you still wanted a relationship, we would still liking have one. Don't give me that I didn't care for you when you gave the impression that you didn't love me anymore when we broke up. So stop being jealous of my relationship with Sarah." "You're such an asshole," I screamed, shoving him in the chest. "What the hell is going on here?" Brian shouted, running out the back door. He put himself in the middle of Harrison and I. Harrison's eyes were no longer a crystal blue, but pitch black. His growls filled the silence in the air. Harry, Nell, Jennifer, Daisy, and Betty were watching with wide eyes from the porch. Jake stood at my side, glaring at Harrison. "Step away, Smith," Harrison said, breathing in and out. "This is a conversation between me and Jessie." "This conversation has ended," Brian said. "You need to calm this down." "Whatever," Harrison muttered, looking at me before he ran off. His clothes shredded, his beautiful gray wolf sprinting into the forest. "Jake, calm Jessie down." It was only then that I realized my fur was itching to escape my skin and my growls escaped low and vicious. "There might be hunters in the forest, and the last thing we need is a dead alpha," Brian ordered. My blood ran cold, stopping my growls and snapping me out of my anger. I watched as Brian ran off towards the woods in his wolf form. After hearing what Brian said, I wanted to follow him to make sure that my mate was okay. "Jessie, you're not going there," Jake ordered, reading my thoughts through the mind link. He was a higher healer than I was, so I was possessed to stay where I was. I looked at him angrily, storming into the house with fresh tears running down my face. I ignored the calls of my friends and cursed myself for being so stupid. "Please be okay," my wolf whispered at the same time I did.